On a quiet Saturday evening, while most of the neighborhood was settling in for dinner or heading out for the night, a 15-year-old boy named Ryan had the house entirely to himself. His parents were visiting his grandmother 2 towns over and wouldn't be back until late. To Ryan, it felt like freedom. No reminders to keep the volume down, no lectures about screen time, no mom hovering every time something scary appeared on TV. That night, he finally decided to watch The Conjuring. He popped a massive bowl of popcorn, turned off every light except the lamp behind the couch, and sank into the cushions. The house was familiar. Old wood floors that creaked when the temperature shifted, the steady hum of the refrigerator, the occasional tick from the hallway clock. It felt safe, ordinary. About 30 minutes into the movie, right when the tension on screen was starting to build, a loud knock echoed through the house. Ryan jumped. He paused the movie, heart already beating faster than it should have been. No one ever knocked that late. He stood up slowly and walked to the front door, careful not to make noise. Through the peephole, he saw a girl standing on the porch. She wore a green Girl Scout sash dotted with badges, her brown hair tied into pigtails. She had a huge smile on her face, too huge, the kind that didn't reach her eyes. At first glance, it made sense. Girl Scouts sold cookies all the time, but something didn't sit right. She looked older, much older, not 10 or 11 like most Girl Scouts, closer to 20. Her face was covered in heavy makeup, thick mascara, bright lipstick, foundation layered so heavily it looked cracked around her cheeks. The uniform hung on her strangely, like a costume rather than something she'd grown into. Ryan hesitated. His hand hovered inches from the lock. Every instinct in his body told him to step back, to pretend he wasn't home. But then he laughed quietly at himself. He'd been watching horror movies alone in the dark. Of course his brain was inventing things. She was just selling cookies. What was the worst that could happen? Ryan unlocked the door and opened it. "Hi," she said brightly. "We're raising money for the troops. Want to buy some cookies?" Up close, the unease intensified. The smile stayed frozen on her face, but her eyes scanned past Ryan, peering into the house behind him like she was taking inventory. Sure," Ryan said, forcing a polite smile. "How much?" $5 a box." She lifted a sleeve of Thin Mints. "You're cute, you know that." Ryan felt his stomach tighten. "Thanks," he muttered, reaching for his wallet. "I'll just take 1 box." She leaned closer. Her perfume hit him immediately, sweet and overpowering, the kind that clogged your throat and lingered long after someone left the room. "I've got more varieties in my van," she said softly. "You can pick your favorite." Every alarm in Ryan's head started screaming. But he was 15, alone, and part of him, stupid, inexperienced, flattered, liked the attention. "Yeah," he said after a second. "Okay." She giggled and turned toward the street. Parked at the curb was a white van with the engine running. No logos, no windows in the back, just solid white panels. As they got closer, Ryan noticed the side door was already unlocked. "They're right here," she said, sliding it open. Before Ryan could process what he was seeing, hands exploded out of the darkness. One grabbed his arm, another yanked his shirt. He felt himself lifted off his feet. He tried to scream, but a hand clamped over his mouth, cutting off the sound. His shoes scraped against the pavement as he was dragged inside. The door slammed shut behind him, and the van lurched forward. Inside, it was chaos. Someone pinned him down while another went through his pockets, ripping out his phone and wallet. One of the men laughed when he noticed Ryan's sneakers. "New Jordans," he said, yanking them off. "Nice." Ryan sobbed, his chest heaving. "Please," he begged, "please just let me go. I won't tell anyone." The girl sat calmly in the passenger seat. She reached up and pulled out the pigtails, letting her hair fall loose. Without them, she looked older, harder. She turned around, smiling as she lit a cigarette. "Stupid, horny teenagers," she said. She pressed the burning tip against Ryan's arm. His scream was muffled by another blow to his stomach, then another to his face. His ribs, They weren't trying to knock him out. They wanted him awake. They wanted him to feel it. The van filled with laughter, cigarette smoke, and the metallic taste of blood. Ryan didn't know how long it lasted. Time dissolved into pain. When the van finally stopped, they shoved him out onto an unfamiliar street. "Stay down," one of them said. "Don't look up, and if you go to the cops, we know where you live." The van sped away. A stranger found Ryan minutes later. An ambulance came, then police, then his parents, broken with fear and rage. Ryan spent 2 days in the hospital. Cracked ribs, a broken nose, a concussion. But the physical injuries healed. The fear didn't. Every knock at the door made him freeze. Every white van made his pulse spike. At night, he woke up convinced he could smell cigarette smoke. The police never caught them. Years passed. Ryan grew up. He moved away. He tried to build a normal life, but some nights, when the house was quiet, he still heard that knock. And sometimes, when he walked home late, he swore he saw a familiar white van idling at the curb, waiting. What Ryan never told anyone, what he buried so deep he barely let himself think about it, was what he noticed just before the van door closed that night. On the inside of the door, scratched into the metal with something sharp, were dozens of small tally marks, some crossed out, some fresh, and beneath them, written in uneven, childish handwriting, were 3 words, "Almost said no," which meant Ryan hadn't been the first, and somewhere out there, the girl in the sash was still smiling, still knocking, still waiting for someone else to open the door.